Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're doing well. It's Friday, May 16th. Holy cow, almost Memorial Day. How you guys doing
Good,
Good,
good.
good. Doing good.
today?
Nothing to complain
Good.
about here. Pools are opening up, feeling good. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So I'm really excited. So this is, I think, our second or third installment with Jeri, our transaction coordinator, office admin, and agent marketing. She's kind of a catch-all for us. We were just talking offline. So Jeri's been in the business 32 years. 32 years. She's been with me for 12, and I know Andrew, she's been with you for 9.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Almost half of your career we've been together.
Yeah. Yep.
That's just amazing, amazing. And you're newly married.
I am. I am. Very exciting.
Very exciting, very exciting. Congratulations to you and
Thank
your
you.
now husband. So I thought we would maybe jump in today a little differently than we have in the past. And maybe talk about some things that have stayed the same over 32 years and some things that you're seeing now that are now changing in the world of not only TC work, but maybe the agents, the agent's daily activity versus maybe what their expectations are of maybe you.
Okay. Um, let's see. As far as things that have stayed the same, it's still very much a people business. Even on my end, I don't do a whole lot of client connection, but what connection I do is really important to stay engaged with them so they know who I am when I'm helping through the process of a file. Um, and agents really like you should be out and about doing your thing and not having to worry about the paperwork. The paperwork is something that I actually enjoy dealing with. That's kind of my strong suit. That's what I in other offices have been known for, just making sure that, office files are complete and, compliant and all the things. And I really enjoy that part of it. As far as changing, the lot has changed in 32 years. I mean, we were setting showings by hand 32 years ago with we had cards like a Rolodex with the seller's information that we were calling and handwriting all that stuff. So having that, the technology with the showings now being very online mostly, and the AI system. So the AI has played a big part in moving forward. I do a lot of marketing for the office, a lot of social media. The social media piece, the AI has been very helpful with. I know the agents with our marketing as far as photos go, our photography company helps with their AI program to write descriptions, which I know has been helpful. Even some of our platforms that we use for posting social media have the AI built in, which is helpful for me. And I have noticed that, some of our agents are actually on board and using that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been a really, real estate's always been a dynamic business, at least for the decade-ish that I've been in it. But I think over the last, I would say 3 to maybe 5 years, if you were real ambitious with it, ChatGPT is and other sorts of AI integrated, language models have really given agents a lot of new perspective and a lot of tools, in my opinion, to kind of help serve their clientele better. So, I mean, I know you've played around with that a little bit. Can you tell me like some of the ways that you make agents and clients' lives a little bit easier using some of that technology?
Um, you know, doing the property descriptions. I mean, I think that's probably a big one. For like marketing pieces. I do manage a lot of the social media for the agents in our office. So I'm posting things to their pages, and a lot of that information is, AI generated. Honestly, we have some templates that we use that are, have been in place for a while, but a lot of our articles and that sort of stuff is, it's AI and it's good information. Obviously, I check the information before it goes out, but it's been very helpful to me to then help you, all the agents, stay in front of people and, just having some knowledge out on their pages.
Definitely. And then, yeah. So I mean, and then gets obviously, I I use you for basically every transaction I have, but what do you, if you had to like tell maybe like a newer agent or agents that are used to kind of doing their own file management, how does working with a TC like yourself make their lives easier and let them serve their clients better? Because I think that's what you know, when I'm putting my agent hat on, that's what I want to do is I want to serve more clients better, so yeah.
Right. Right. So I always go back to something that Michael has said over and over and over again. Would you rather be the nurse or the doctor? I still use that with agents, and it's true. There's a lot of paperwork involved. There's a lot of, I's that need to be dotted, T's that need to be crossed, that sort of stuff that I manage so that the agents don't have to, and they can work directly with their clients more and, how do the things that the clients need them to do, the stuff, being there for the inspections and, doing that sort of thing and not having to deal with the paperwork. On with me, I make sure then that, the agent's paperwork is good, then the brokerage as well. And I think that gives the agent a lot more time to have and build relationships with their clients, really.
Hmm.
Yeah, I agree. You know, the other thing too, you want to talk about some technology. So you really spread your wings a little bit in the last 3 years because we added our Missouri office and you're
Mm-hmm.
serving the Missouri office. So not only do we have a local MLS, which is part of the board, which is different here than it is in Denver, and also we have a satellite agent up in Columbia, Missouri, who does commercial.
Right.
So you're having to learn a couple different MLSs, right? But the process, generally speaking, is the same, right? I think the difference is, down here, the agent is probably used to being more hands-on with their own stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you've had to kind of say, hey, I'll do it for you, I'll do it for you, I'll do it for you, right? They get to see that value,
Right.
too. So um, I've been doing it longer, but tell me, it is different having a whole agency you've never met,
It
right?
is. It is different. There's a lot more phone calls, because, we're trying to build that relationship.
Right.
Um, it's different. It definitely is. I think I don't even know how to really pinpoint what is really different about it. It's been an easy transition. The agents down there seem to have adapted to it pretty well. And I think some of the newer agents coming in are more receptive to my help, I've noticed. Some of the seasoned agents are, pretty, set in their ways, and they're doing what they're doing. And, I still do their marketing, and I'm still, helping them promote some things. But they, like to really hold the reins tight on some of
Yeah.
their stuff.
Well, the difference too, and there was another study done a number of years ago, and that Denver kind of Front Range market is a very young market, right?
Mhm.
So the agents are somewhere between a 25 and 45 kind of age bracket. Down here, not only is it a second home resort market, but number two is it's a second career for most of them, right?
Right.
So they're 45 to 65, right? And so they have been doing things kind of on their own. And then when we launched the brokerage, we launched it with this is just our program. They just don't
Right.
know any differently. So it's like this is what it is. You're gonna, and a lot of times when I get calls or texts, I'm like, hey, just ping Jeri. Jeri can help you with that. She's here to help. She's our support, right? So to them, oh yeah, yeah, they forget, sometimes.
Right. Right.
But when you're in a transaction, they're very well aware.
Hmm.
Um, the other thing that's interesting is I tell you, we are so blessed and so fortunate in that Denver market. We have that beautiful thing called CTME contracts, right?
Oh,
It's
yes.
so amazing. You got to remember when that launched in the recession, and agents fought it. They didn't want CTM. But remember when gas prices went up to like $5, $6 a gallon, all of a
Right.
sudden everybody signed up for CTM, right? So you get kind of used to that flow. Well, we don't have that in Missouri, right?
Hmm.
So we use DocuSign for the most part. A few agents use .net or .loop, but for the most part, we just use DocuSign.
Right.
Super easy once you learn to use it.
Yeah.
I know Andrew and I've talked about training on DocuSign at some point, but it is super simple to use. You just got to know where to click and where to drag. But once you get in flow, it's kind of like CTM. The difference
Hmm.
is it's not integrated,
Right.
right? So it's not integrated with the other agents, not integrated with the title company, the lender, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot of manual processes on the back end. So from that aspect, what are some tools that you're using maybe specifically for here, because you don't have all the tech to help kind of keep the agents on track?
Right. So we use SkySlope, which is an electronic filing system. That's where we use that here in Colorado and also in Missouri. So within SkySlope, there's a place where you can set up reminders and tasks. So what I've been doing is using that as like in CTM, the deadline calendar. And having those emails go out 2 to 3 days before the deadline and just reminding myself and the agent that this deadline's coming up, and just get those in place right at the beginning. And then, it's there for them. I'm working on a calendar, to actually have in place to share with the agents out in Missouri. That is a work in progress. But definitely the task through the SkySlope seems to be working well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Well, hey, enough of the business talk. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, again, a big congratulations on just getting married, and you have your lovely family here, getting close to summertime. So,
Yes.
I'd love to
Yes.
hear if you guys have any summer plans, or you guys usually do a trip, or kind of what you do for fun outside of grinding away for these agents. What do you do on Jerry?
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know that we really have anything planned this summer. Sam and I just went on a cruise in March. And we left the girls with grandparents. So it was just us, and that was nice. As far as the summer with the girls, they're going to do a lot of summer camp.
hmm
They're doing a church camp. They're going for a week with our church to New Mexico,
Oh,
uh,
that's super cool.
to do a camp there. So that's exciting. Kyla hasn't done it yet. This will be her first year. So she's real excited about that. Um, we spend a lot of time at the zoo in the
Nice.
summertime. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
Um,
We go
but I
back
don't,
and forth on like, do we get the zoo tickets? Do we get like the children's museum tickets? Because like Cal's so little that it's like he's
yeah,
got like an hour to 90 minutes of anything in him before he's like, all right, I'm done with
I'm
this.
done.
So
Yeah, and with the girls, they love, I love the zoo. It's
mhm,
really me mostly that likes the zoo, to be honest. But the girls, they humor me and they'll go and they like it. So we do get the family pass so that
mhm,
we can go to all the, like the Christmas lights and the
yeah.
boo at the zoo and, that sort of stuff that we get, pre-sale tickets, and can do that sort of stuff. So that's a lot of fun.
Have
Um,
you made it down to the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo where you can feed the elephants?
Oh, we haven't been up there since you could feed the elephants, but the giraffes.
Oh, the giraffes. I'm sorry, giraffes. What I meant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did.
Uh,
We did the giraffes. We actually did a boo at the zoo a couple years out at the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo, and that was fun because we hadn't done that before.
no,
So
they
that
do
was
like a
a lot
lot
of
of
fun.
cool like little bonus things. Like you can like pay $20 and hang out with the gorilla for an hour. Like it's like a whole
Yes,
yeah.
they do. They
Yeah,
have a lot of
like
different things. Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. We are talking about maybe in the fall doing a trip. And we're thinking maybe we'll do San Diego and go to the zoo out there.
okay.
Um, that's, kind of up in the air still, but we've been talking about it a little bit.
Nice. That's fun.
And you're
Yeah.
really too, for people that don't know, I mean, you're really into Halloween and you like
Oh, I love Halloween. Yes.
Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that. You're into all that. You dress up. So funny. So the other day, something popped up just as a weird thing. You know how Apple does the things that pop up. So
Yeah.
one of these with your witch costume. When we were in our
Yes.
office, it popped up, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's Jerry!" It was so crazy. So very cool, very cool. Well, listen, you are our left and our right hand. I know I've told you that. We very much appreciate you. We don't function, without you. We know that. Um, and we're really excited for some of the things that we're going to be rolling out in the future, and we're excited for the things that we're doing under our new independent brand, and whatnot. So,
Right.
is there anything that you want to leave kind of the rest of the group with, or today?
I just like to point out some of the client activities that we do. I think that's probably an important thing for people to know. We do every year a pie event where the clients get to pick a pie that they would like for Thanksgiving, and the agents deliver those pies to them. We also do a Santa event where we have Santa come to our office building and we do photos with Santa and like arts and crafts. And last year we had a hot chocolate booth. So we'll have something fun this year. I'm not sure what that's going to be, but that's another thing that we do, which is a lot of fun.
Very cool. Very. In fact, I look at Andrew. We probably need to talk to Manny upstairs and make sure we get that on the calendar as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good old Manny. I'm sure he won't mind.
You won't mind. You
Um,
won't mind. Very cool. Well, Jerry, it's always a pleasure, talking with you. You always have a lot of great ideas. You always sometimes see things from a different lens than us sales guys do.
Right.
What works, what doesn't work, and just a few thoughts. So, but again, it's for anybody who's listening or watching. It's amazing to have an in-house person at your side to help you with your business, right? Some TC stuff, some admin work, some marketing. Now that we're kind of getting in a flow, it's kind of made it a lot easier for you. But I think agents to really leverage you, and let's use like the analogy of the nurse versus the doctor, definitely are more productive agents than those that are.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
So if you're talking to Andrew or I, and you're looking at a new brokerage, if you stumble across this video, you're going to get yourself a Jerry. Well, I hope you have an amazing weekend here ahead of Memorial Day. And as always, Jerry, it's great chatting with you. So thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Awesome.
Bye.